Welcome to the Mental Mastery Golf Podcast by Dare to Dream, the show dedicated to fun, practical mental performance strategies for your golf game. Join mental performance coach Jamie Glazier and co-host Ross Flanagan as they discuss how to manage your mind in one of the craziest sports there is.
Well, everybody, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Golf Podcast. And what a week it's been for the team here at Mental Mastery Golf Podcast, and also for Jamie Glazier, the mental master himself, who's sitting alongside me, and Team Lucas Herbert. What a week it's been. And I've got to say, we're very, very lucky here tonight to have Herbie on the other end.
We are very lucky. So, Herbie, thanks for joining us tonight, mate.
Lucas, got to start off by saying absolute massive congratulations from myself and all the listeners here at the Mental Mastery Golf Podcast on your win last week in the Omega Dubai Classic. Your first professional win, mate. It's probably been the biggest week of your life in many respects. How has the last few days been for you, mate?
It started off severely hungover and progressed into some pretty good kind of feeling since then. And I think the video highlights on YouTube of the tournament have probably got a fair workout for me as well, because it's sort of had to try and convince myself that it's definitely real and I haven't just dreamed up any of it. So yeah, it's been a fun few days and definitely something I'd like to do again.
Well, mate, for me personally, sitting here having been watching your journey for the last few years, it was a matter of time from where I sat, and I'm so proud the time has come now, because very well deserved. It's been a great start to the year, in the first few events. T11, and you were able to convert that T11 into the win. What happened from round 2 into round 4? What changed? What happened? Just take us through that part of it.
Not a hell of a lot physically, to be honest.
Yep.
I just kind of tried to keep the same sort of stuff going for the first 2 rounds. It was pretty obvious that I was playing nicely. From not only Abu Dhabi, but quite a few other events where I played nicely. First 2 days, got myself into a good position, and then just sort of fallen back on the weekend and not really gotten the results I wanted. It was sort of it was pretty apparent that it wasn't really a physical thing. So obviously, good lead to let everyone sort of hear that. Obviously, the work me and Jamie did was massive. Sunday afternoon in Abu Dhabi, we sort of had a bit of a team debrief meeting, and I sort of blew up about a few things about how I wasn't happy with my own performance, and tried to get everything off my chest as to why I thought that was going on, or my ideas as to what was going on and what I was feeling. And Jamie, being quite talented at what he does, was able to receive that and figure out the best plan of action. Essentially, it almost felt like for a week I pretty much just went and tried to give myself as much faith confidence as possible. Call it faith because it was in a lot of ways probably drummed up a lot given realistically actual confidence I could have had. To get myself just a good result would have been nice to sort of build off and feel like I had the game there, and I wasn't sort of wasn't beating my head against the wall anymore. And fortunately for me, it was probably the best result I could have got. So now it feels like I've got a bunch of confidence there and some very recent highlights to kind of to look at and convince myself that hopefully this weekend when if I get myself into a position going into the weekend to play a good result, and that was certainly possible, and it's very much doable for me.
Mate, it's great to hear you talking about those videos and looking at watching those and getting that confidence from that, because it's certainly in this early part of our Mental Mastery Golf Podcast journey, one of the topics that we've covered off, I think Jamie we call it mirror neurons, and he's joked with me about me creating my own mirror neurons videos, which the work that we do together has rubbed off of me. So it's fantastic to hear that, and I'll let Jamie talk to you about that. We're looking forward to seeing you back here in Victoria next week. Yeah, absolutely, next week down at the Vic Open. What does coming home to the Vic Open mean for you? Because it's a European Tour co-sanctioned event, but it's obviously a smaller event. But what does it mean to you?
I'm just great to get a chance to sort of play back in Australia, and I'm not a name like Greg Norman or Adam Scott or Jason Day, but I feel like if I can drag a couple extra kids along to an event, or a couple extra fans on to watch that otherwise wouldn't have done if I wasn't there, then I've kind of helped you out in some way, and feel like it's probably part of our job as being involved in entertainers is also to try and leave a legacy that surpasses us. So that's definitely something I like doing. But you just playing golf courses
Now, it just all made sense to me then. Herbie called me by my name, Jamie, which he probably hasn't done for 4 years, and he gave me a compliment. So something was off, and he said there's no girls or no alcohol in Saudi Arabia. So now it all makes sense. He's maybe just lost the plot a little.
No. So the part that I really liked listening to there, mate, was, you hope to drag a few younger people along. If you've influenced, if you can influence some young golfers and some future stars, I'm sure that you have gone a long way to already doing that. And, your appearance and your performance down here in Victoria will do that no end. And I'm sure there's a lot more people that are looking forward to coming down and welcoming you home, champion of the European Tour. So we're looking forward to seeing you down there. I'll be playing the Pro-Am. I'll come and say good day. The couple of things I'm interested to hear before we get talking about Thumper is that bloody trophy from Dubai, mate. It might be officially the biggest trophy in the world. What do you do with that? How do you get it back down to the Gold Coast?
I think possibly the heaviest trophy in the world. All these girls on a journey after that playoff, I went to pick it up and was almost worried for a second that I would be able to get it in the air because it'd be so heavy. I got about 5 kilometres of me sort of holding it up and kissing it, and I was like, right, that's enough, I'm putting it out. The rest of these photos have been done with this thing on the ground.
So do you keep that? Do you keep that trophy, Herbie, or is that a perpetual trophy?
I think the Ashes trophy stays in Dubai.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to be responsible for trying to get it home or getting it back to Dubai. But from what I understand, it's an NBA replica trophy, so that'll be a good one to put next to the TV at home to remind myself of what I've been able to do.
Beautiful. And I'm glad that for your sake, and maybe not so much my sake because of the jealousy involved with this, some people out there might know I like my watches and I'm a bit of an old vintage watch collector, and it's good that you won the Omega Dubai Desert Classic and not the Nespresso Dubai Desert Classic or something, because you got a nice piece there as well, mate, which was... you sent me a photo of, and that was just such a cool piece with the inscription on the back of the 2020 champion. And
there's some serious watch envy going on down here in these parts, Lucas, at the moment. So, keep the Aquaterra by your side at all times when you're in the company of Jamie Glazier, otherwise known to you as Thumper. Now, what's going on with Thumper? Like, I'm trying to look at him here going, where does Thumper come from, mate? But for the benefit of the audience, tell us why on tour over there he's known as Thumper.
I think when this game started about 2 or 3 years ago with one of my old cabins, very conveniently pointed out that Johnny has some very large feet, and it probably doesn't have been the carve incredibly small as well, which makes his feet a bit bigger. So somewhere he got coined with a different Thumper, and then that's just stuck too nicely. There's been a few other nicknames that I've been in tops Thumper.
Well, I'm going to keep going with Thumper because I like it, and I like the part that he's got incredibly small calves because I've got incredibly generous calves, and if I can beat him on one thing, it'll be on a carve off, a Phil Quando carve off.
I just want to let everyone know I've got size 12 feet. They're not like 15 or 16 that would deserve the name Thumper. They're 12, and I'm 6'3" and have small calves. So.
Yeah, you can't do that size with 15-year-old girls now. Really, that's the only thing that makes it look
This,
all right.
See, this is great. This is quality stuff for the Mental Mastery Golf Podcast. This is what it's all about. It's been long overdue that Jamie Glazier is going to cop some heat, and it's good, mate. Appreciate it. Now, let's keep going on that front. We talked about mirror neurons, and you talked about some positivity and confidence that you got from looking at some of your own bank of video content there. I believe that you're responsible for providing Jamie some mirror neuron video when on tour, in particular to one particular part of Jamie's golf game, which he is yet to fulfill any part of his potential. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, I think if you're a dedicated Jamie Glazier fan, I'm sure it's probably been mentioned on the podcast before, but Jamie's yet to spank himself a hole in one, and he's only been playing, I think, 26 years of golf, so not like he's had very long to do it.
I can't believe you're counting as well as I'm counting.
I think within our team, Dom likes being coaches. He's had enough hole in ones that he can't remember how many years. I think I've had 5. Dom's mother-in-law has played about 3 rounds of golf in her life. So, I guess the video content you're talking about is pretty much any time you've ever seen a hole in one video shared on social media somewhere. It's like Jamie pop up, tagged in it somewhere, or sent to him directly, or some sort of message sent to him to back that he. But the last time we flushed a line out of the middle, so that might have something to do.
No.
So whenever someone on the European Tour has a hole-in-one and you decide to go into the Players' Lounge and send me a video interviewing them and telling them that I've never had one, you're doing that for my benefit, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you get this positive reinforcement. You know, we talk about those things about being positive all the time, and sometimes, you know, it's good to hear from people around you that these things are doable. You know, even a blind squirrel finds a nut on the occasion. So there's no reason why it can't happen for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, mate. And you'll be the first one to be notified when I do actually have my first hole-in-one. And I did hole an 8-iron the other day, so we're sort of heading in the right direction.
Jeez. Lucas, that is gold, mate. No, it wasn't a tee shot.
No, it wasn't a tee
It was a chip. It was a chip. It was a chip in from the fringe, mate, from 15 metres off the green, mate. There's nothing. No chance. Hey,
dogs.
Lucas, before I hand you over to Jamie to go through some of these questions, so we talked about the listeners of the Mental Mastery Golf podcast, so golfers, just everyday golfers like me and Jamie sitting beside me, they love their gear. Now, there's been some new gear come out from TaylorMade, who, you know, you're a TaylorMade guy. I've been lucky enough in my other podcast to talk to Matt Bovee from the chief product creator from TaylorMade, and we talked about some irons, the P7 TWs and the new Sim product. What have you got in your bag at the moment from the TaylorMade crew?
Yeah, so I've had some pretty big wins recently. So I was obviously with the Sim product coming out this year, nothing in my bag. That was kind of always going to be a no-brainer, given that whenever new technology comes out, you always want to sort of, well, for someone who's obviously playing for a living, you never want to feel left behind on the technology side of things. So that was shown today, and that's been great. So I'm playing. I've got just the normal Sim with, I think it's a 9 degree loft. To be honest, like, Golf WA, you know more about my equipment than I do. And then instead of I put the P7 TWs in the bag late last year, mainly because they look absolutely pure, but they do actually perform quite well as well. And I found I struggled in Abu Dhabi the week before with, I was actually making almost technical changes to my golf swing because I didn't feel like I could get enough spin on the golf ball. Times where if I was coming out of the rough, trying to stop it on the green, or if I was, you know, trying to sort of spin one off, you know, float one up to a front flag, and that kind of thing, I was just getting so stuck behind the ball because I was trying to sort of lift it up so much in my body. So the best thing I did in Dubai actually was I went to the rest and said, right, man, I'm 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, and do 2 reds all made a degree softer so that it'll hit the ball higher, and I want to test the ball. So I was playing a TP5X, basically went and played a practice round with TP5X, got on the range Tuesday afternoon, had a chat with the main club fitting guys in Europe, which is Adrian Repold, Mark Whittleton, and Sam Tate. Chatted about a bunch of stuff, looked at my numbers on track, and against a club gig, so my 8-iron was spinning at 6,200 revs, which is
Not enough.
in the win, it's awesome because you control it so well. But trying to come into green, you know, you need that bit of spin, like there was none there. And last week, those greens were rock hard. There was just no forgiveness in it. And so I decided to shoot out there and I switched golf ball. So basically, they gave me a box, you know, about 45 centimetres sort of square box full of the TP5s, and they gave them to me for Wednesday, and I went through the whole box testing all my irons, making sure I'm happy with all of them, and all the spin rates are right, all the carry numbers are right, all the shots that I wanted to hit, you know, whether it be like low fades or high draws, or, you know, all the different types of shots I want to hit, they were all coming off correctly, and used some balls to shit with as well. So essentially, like, what I did was, with these P7 TW irons, I found that they came out probably with the same specs as my old irons, they probably came out a window lower with a little bit less spin. So moved the loft up and changed the ball, allowed that spin to match correctly. The longer, like the woods, the driving 3 would obviously match it up nicely now. You just got to tweak that because I've always been a very high spin player, so I'd always want to play whatever driver will spin the least. But probably the last 2 or 3 models, they've actually made them so well that I'm not going to the lowest spin setting. So basically, we're able to just do that, just drop the spin down, and it was that all those numbers matched up, which then goes around the green. I had so much more spin to play with. If I was a little bit short-sighted, I felt like I could actually stop the golf ball. Shots like that leg shot into the playoff hole actually stop rather than kind of, you know, just golly come off that extra. So yeah, switch golf ball Tuesday night, so Wednesday, and yeah, that was my equipment change for the week, and it seemed to work.
It certainly did, mate. And before I hand over to Jamie, that wedge shot on the playoff hole, bloody gem, mate. So well done. It was stopped on a dime. So TP5X, there we go. And whatever that wedge was that you hit, I can't remember what loft it was, but mate, it was a cracker. Mate, we might get into some of the questions that Jamie's got there for you, and you and he can just go through some of that. Once again from me, mate, I really appreciate your time and congratulations on your win. Looking forward to catching up with you down at the Vic Open at the Pro-Am. Mate, all the best for the rest of the season, but thanks for joining us, and talk to Jamie, and I'm here listening in, and I might chime in as well.
All right, mate. Well, let's get into a couple of these questions, and we'll. I know you've just finished your Pro-Am and your prep work for the tournament, and you want to get rested up. So there was quite a few questions revolving around that 3-wood second shot on the first playoff hole, and actually none of the questions were around what happened on that shot. There was more of the questions were actually around what was your attitude, state of mind after that shot. Obviously, watching the coverage, we could see that you laughed it off and you made a comment about being the worst shot you've ever hit. Just tell us a little bit about what you were doing, in the moments after that shot to reset and recover for the next shot, and whether a little bit of that sense of humour that you showed was a strategy to sort of just get you ready for the next shot.
Yeah, look, I think laughing it off might have been the best option, given how many cameras are on me, because I feel like the other option might have cost me quite a large chunk of my check that I won. So that was probably where that stemmed from a lot more. But yeah, honestly, it was such a bad golf shot. I don't even think the TV kind of showed how bad it was. But it was kind of at the point where you're like, you can't even get angry. It was just so bad, it's just funny. From that point, it was like, Christian obviously get it down the fairway, and when he reaches on, obviously it's hard using the smart shot there with, he's given that in regulations, kind of a little short and trying it back in the water. It was probably always up there on the side of long there, and with me basically in the drop zone hitting my fourth, it's probably my play to make sure you shoot yourself and just take a look at birdie. So
yeah.
When I saw it there, I mean that's a really tough putt where he's had the putt from. I mean, he hit a phenomenal putt, and that's still well before his putt. And that's essentially any further than that, and all of a sudden those playoff nerves start getting pretty bad. So I knew that was a tough putt, and I thought if I at least sort of got it on the, if I got the wedge shot on the green somewhere where it gave me a chance to make par, that might put enough pressure on him to kind of at least make him work for it a little bit. But I guess, like I spoke to you, I mean, if you look back at the final round coverages of whether it be Tiger winning majors or Rory winning tournaments, or you go through this and on the European Tour YouTube page, and there's a bunch of classic final round. The thing that always astounds me is you see what did astound me was that you see these guys win and you think they played such perfect golf on Sunday. Where realistically, there was always one or two shots that could have really cost them, and they just got a little lucky here and there, or they get no limits and mistakes, and it's by no means was a perfect golf. And that was kind of my thought for the whole day. I got into the first hole, and not that I thought I was really a chance to win, but I was like, well, these final round in tournaments, they never really go perfectly, and that's fine. It's not, there's going to be just more key moments throughout the day where you need to hit good shots, and there's going to be beyond one or two here that are going to be poor shots, and potentially, the weeks that you win, you get away with them. And obviously, that's kind of what happened. A very poor shot at a time where you probably think that's a bad time to hit one, but with how bad that second shot was, the one drop zone is good. So that was kind of, I guess, I almost didn't get that I'd blown it, or think that it was just went to the drop zone. It was an area of my game that worked on a lot over the past 3 or 4 months. I kind of knew it was just one of those shots that with water short, you're like, I think I can see this. You just see yourself kind of blowing it 30 feet past the hole, just being concerned about the water short and all the adrenaline running. So my thoughts was just, it's an 11 o'clock swing with my lob wedge. If I get it back to the right point at the top of the swing and I don't accelerate through it really hard, I kick everything soft without decelerating on it, this would be a good shot and it'll get somewhere near it. And that was my only focus, was if I executed those two things as a soft sort of smooth swing at the right length, that was kind of all I had, paid off.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you and Dom have worked a lot on your wedges. I think you spent a bit of time in Abu Dhabi working on your wedges, and I know that there's a lot of work gone in there. And when I was watching that live and I saw that wedge shot, as soon as I saw the action and the ball, I didn't get to see the ball fly. I knew straight away that you'd hit a really good shot because I know some of the physiological patterns for you with a good wedge shot versus an average wedge shot. And when that ball pitched and stopped, I think I woke up the whole neighbourhood. That without a doubt was probably the sexiest shot I've ever seen you hit, and you've hit quite a few. So, I think you summed up a couple of those questions really well. One of the questions was about, well, what was your thoughts on your pitch shot? And you nailed it there with having clarity over what you were trying to do and what you had control over. And talk to me about what was going through your mind, or what did you say to Johnny after that pitch shot when I see him gave you that little bit of a fist bump, and what were you talking about like as you started to walk towards the green?
It was funny actually, like I almost know what to do when it went that close, because it was almost just like this massive realisation of like, holy crap, like I actually can do that.
Yeah.
Under the gun and everything there, like I actually can get that shot. It's sort of like I don't think I ever really hit like a pitch shot like that with all the pressure on really close. So it was just this massive like wave of like, what the hell just happened? How did it do that?
Yeah.
And there was probably some part in the back of my brain was also going, I need to still keep control over my emotions, and that was not a time to celebrate. Like I hit a great shot, but like that was just to get me back into context. Like that wasn't big for me. The tournament. So like I kind of have this like I've seen the video so many times, and like I have this odd look on my face because it's almost like this like determined like Ricky sort of look at that I give John, but the time like and just even the roar from the crowd was like everything just hit me at 1,000 miles an hour. So I didn't really know how to react. I mean, walking up, I think about all that we said to each other was like, mate, I want that video on repeat on my phone. I want it as a ringtone. Like that thing is so good. I want that video forever, and I need to watch that every day for the rest of my life because that was such a good shot. So I think that was pretty much how the sort of conversation. Walking up to the green, it's pretty much I'm in tight there. Probably going to make par. Christian's probably going to make par as well. So we're at a point where the contest is probably going to go back to 18 again. So it was sort of just trying to calm everything down, make sure I was sort of ready to go again in 10 minutes time.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. I mean, it's with the podcast, and we've spoken about a lot of it. This podcast is really targeted towards the club golfer and the mid high handicapper, but there's so many patterns of performance that sort of transfer and correlate, and confidence being a big one. And sometimes people just try and be confident without any sort of foundation of reality behind it. So you being able to use that shot of holy shit, that actually did happen, and watch it over. And I think one of the things that I loved about the voice message you sent me on the way from the course to the hotel, I think, or it might have been in our discussion we had on the phone the next day, was how someone sent you that video from the European Tour, and in the car you just watched it over and over and over again after the event on the way. It's that's pretty cool to have that just running through your mind.
I was just going to say, if I represent...
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
I was just going to say, Lucas, if I represent, the average everyday golfer, hearing you describe what that video did for you and how it made you feel and how it will continue to make you feel gives me so much enjoyment. But knowing that, the everyday golfer out there, if they've got their own video, they can do that and replay it and build on that. That's such a... To hear you do something that's so simple, video. Everyone's got video. Everyone's videoing themselves. To do it and meant so much to you, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think, for a club golfer, it's a bit different. Obviously, the cameras aren't there following your everyday Thursday around a peninsula or wherever you choose to play your club golf. But, something as simple as, per week, for that week last week, every day in my journal sort of wrote down, 3 things I was really grateful for and 3 things that I was really proud of for the day. And something as simple as that, even for a club golfer, if you don't have 44 points, go write down how that
mate. Perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. Just a couple of these other questions here quickly. One from Ben on Instagram, which is a cracker. How was your mental strength the following morning after your victory?
Well, I woke up still drunk, so I wasn't a hangover. I was pretty smart there. My clothes smelled like I'd been fighting bushfires in Australia. Yeah, I was a bit dusty. But it was sort of like when you go to bed, I thought I get some sleep, and I don't even know why I had that thought, because it's never been so excited in my life that you just want to get up and like read everyone's messages and watch the videos and the replays again and just like relive it again and probably make sure that it wasn't a dream. So Monday was a rough day. I wear a wig. I don't know if anyone else went to the podcast, but my recovery score was 15% and sitting on videos was 16%, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, 15%'s 15%'s pretty low, but we yeah, look, we if there's any excuse for your recovery to be pretty low, you had a really good one.
Yeah, it's winning on. Yeah.
So we'll be happy with that. One of the other questions, did you go to the tour truck in Saudi and get a new 3-wood? Lovely. All right, 2 more quick ones, mate. Your goals at the start of the year, and what are they now? Mike Caridi from Instagram, a big follower of ours here. Yeah, goals at the start of the year, and how does that change after this week or last week?
Yeah, because I know we just basically had a big discussion about that, and it was probably a big part of the reason why I did play so well last. I think for a long time, probably thrown out July last year, I was getting some great results. I was high up in the world rankings, but obviously had the President's Cup around the corner, and I was putting loads of pressure on myself, playing good golf, and to try and make that team and get the top 50 in the world and tick off a bunch of different things that you can do in the world of golf. And the results didn't basically come straight away. You started getting very desperate to make them happen again. And, it was like I was trying to go out and win every week. And I know that's probably not a bad thing, but it was like if I finished 5th, it felt like a failure because it was like, I should have won this week. Or, it was just so demoralising. The amount of times I walk off the golf course and just go, like, I can't remember ever being proud after I was beating myself up so much about the fact that I just had goals and hitting them. So I'm now speaking to followers on the podcast because Amy and I basically had nothing that pretty much set goals that were like the most basic goals ever. So I wrote them down at the start of last week. There was a goal I wanted to finish in the top 40 and then finish in the top 30 and then finish in the top 20, finish in the top 10, finish in the top 5 and have a win. One cut finish for the year, shoot 70 or better on a Saturday or a Sunday, shoot 67 or better on a Saturday or Sunday, 100 races to buy points, 250 races to buy points, 450, and then world ranking 100. And with that kind of allows me to feel like, if I'm running 20th going into the weekend, it's like, I've got a good chance to tick off 2 goals here because, top 40 and top 30, like, if you tick off those, it's now, as it changes your mind frame from feeling like if you don't finish in the top 10, it's a failure. Like, no, we've got a chance to tick off some goals. And, it felt like you had everything to gain and nothing to lose, whereas before it was maybe the other way around. And I sent Jamie the photo of the goals, and on Sunday we ticked off every single one of those goals except for 2. One of them being a year-long goal of no cuts missed. And Jamie shoot 67 Saturday or Sunday because I shot 68 in a very strong wind and tough golf course, but I'm leaving that one open. So, now it's just, in terms of resetting those, like, I'm based on the same thing again, just 2 of everything, results categories. I want to play the last group on the weekend. Some stage, I want to finish 20 under in an event, and I want to finish 10 under in an event. And I would put in some, I actually haven't into my journal yet, but I know Jamie and I spoke about some other goals which I have here in front of me. So top 70 in the world ranking, top 60, hold number 1 spot on the race to at some point this season, which are pretty reasonable goals. And sort of they're goals that, if I don't tick those off, that's not the end of the world. Like, you've got so many events to do it in. Yeah, it's so funny how just those goals change your mind frame so much from like I had everything to lose to now. And I think that's been probably one of the reasons as to why I played so well on the weekend last week.
Yeah, mate, it's just so good to hear, Pac, that breaking down those goals and adding those building blocks, which we've discussed in episode 6 of the podcast late last year about setting goals, and obviously, you know, my philosophy on goals and how we should have those building blocks, and you know, the more layers of positive reinforcement we can have, the better it's going to make us feel, and the better it's going to make us feel, we're probably going to end up playing better. And you know, what you were saying about how you struggled last year with just getting into a bit of a rut and feeling like you're failing, and you know, you're coming off the course and not feeling like you've done a good job. You know, club golfers, we get into that sort of rut all the time, and, you know, just trying to break those things down a little bit more helps just to create that positive reinforcement. So, mate, that's sensational to share that with the listeners, and no doubt a lot of them are going to be, you know, getting their goals sorted now.
It's interesting, like, how often do you coming up to around a golf bet as you went club and ask someone what they shot, and there's always a story behind it. There's always, I had 34 points, but I had three three putts, or I had 33 points with 3 whites. And it's never, I had 36 points with 5 birdies. It's always like,
What could have been?
I had this score, but it could have been better, you know, like, it's like as if we didn't think that every round of golf ever could have been better.
Yeah.
And I think, that mentality of always just focusing on the things that went wrong and never sort of giving yourself credit for the good stuff that you did do out there. I don't think it breeds a great sort of mentality.
No, for sure, mate, for sure. All right, last question, mate. You can head off and get some rest ready for round 1 tomorrow. Really appreciate your time. But last question was, is that the nervous you have been on the playoff holes? Talk to us about how the nerves felt in the playoff, and if that was the nervous you've ever felt on a golf course.
Not only up there, it's very hard to rate nervousness against in different situations.
Yeah.
What definitely didn't help was it was actually quite cold.
Yeah.
So if you're ever nervous and you start shaking, being cold doesn't really help you stop the shake. So
Yeah.
that definitely didn't help. I guess there's probably nerves and excitement in there as well. Like, you know whether you win the playoff or not. You've had a great week and you get a pretty decent check, and you're going to go a long way towards keeping your playing status next year and getting yourself into those bigger events. So that excitement was there. But I've always kind of thought that, like, if you're in a playoff or you've got to be the last to win a tournament or something like that, that's actually the fun times to be nervous, because you kind of, like, you're always going to be, like, no matter what happens, you're always going to have had a great week and a great sort of success. Whereas, sometimes the most nervous you can get, I remember in France last year, I needed to make the cut to keep my tour card for the year, and, like, I've got 40 feet on the last green, I've got a 2-putter to make the cut. And, that's the most nervous, because you're not playing by any standard of amazing. You're on the cut line.
Yeah.
Your game's obviously not as sharp as it could be that week. So you're trying to back yourself in and find some confidence off a game that you know is not there. Or, whether it's at Q school and you're on the number and you're just not quite feeling it. Like, those times are probably the most nervous that you get, as opposed to, like, when you jump in golf. That's always kind of what happens going to face on.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, mate. Well, I think the way you executed every single shot on that second playoff hole, that drive, you nearly over-executed and hit it so far it nearly went in the water through the fairway. Second shot was just pure, and that was so cool to see you just execute so well coming down that stretch there, and again, just the way you recovered from that second shot on the first hole. So, mate, I'm obviously chuffed and stoked, and cannot wait to catch up with you and all the team next week at the Vic Open. And thanks so much for your time this afternoon. Go and get some rest and get that recovery up on Whoop a little bit more for the morning. And we'll chat to you in the next couple of days.
And I know I said it to you privately, Jamie, but I'm very happy to say on the podcast that, mate, like, you were a massive difference from the result that I served up in Abu Dhabi versus the result that I served up in Dubai. So if there's anyone out there that's listening to the podcast that thinks they need to help mentally, definitely go and see my boy Suffolk Malaysia for a mental session, pay some money so I don't have to pay him as much myself, and definitely improve your game. But thank you again, mate, and thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, Hey, Lucas, so I'll just sign off, but just listening to you talk through that with Jamie there, especially the part about your goals and some of those small goals and the incremental goals that you talked about and ticking them off and then realising, what is important. I think if we didn't do another podcast ever again and we left the club golfers of the world with something like that, we've done our job. But, your boy here, Thumper, has got a lot more to give the everyday golfers like myself and himself. Congratulations again, Jamie. Congratulations to you. I sat alongside you for a bit here now, and I've played golf alongside you for a long time, and I know the hard work that you put in with Lucas and all your clients. So congrats, and Lucas, look forward to seeing you down here in Victoria. Good luck this weekend. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we can get your time again if you'd have us back on. We'll have you back on, but if you'd come back on, you're welcome any time, because I think this is going to be a very popular episode and people are going to get a lot out of it. So once again, thanks, mate. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks,
Excellent
mate.
work, and we're going to have to play that music again, mate. But thanks again. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Mental Mastery Golf Podcast by Dare to Dream. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast and head over to dare2dream.com.au for exclusive access to the free video program, 8 Tips to an Unbreakable Mental Game. Join us next time on the Mental Mastery Golf Podcast.